Style, tech, comfort, sportiness. Audi's three-row SUV has a little bit of everything, and that may be key to its success. But it's not getting any younger. With the current generation being around since 2015, it was obvious that updates are much needed. And the Ingolstadt-based carmaker has just delivered them, though in a little bit different way than expected. Will this be enough to keep pace with younger competition? Stay with us to find out as we take a look at the all-new 2025 Audi Q7, Audi's redesigned, or better said, restyled luxury SUV. As mentioned, the 2025 Audi Q7 is coming with a bunch of changes. Redesigned or restyled, it depends on how you look at these things. The fact is that the officials haven't said anything about the mechanical updates, which indicates there aren't many of them. The 2025 Audi Q7 continues to rely on a familiar MLB platform with the same proportions and overall shape. On the other hand, you can easily notice a completely new face. The new front-end design is a solid departure from the previous model year, not just by Audi standards. We all know how this car maker doesn't like to change much, visually, but things are different this time. There is a lot to talk about, starting from the new grille design. It may feature the same shape and size as before, but its new octagon-themed pattern looks quite impressive, along with the grille's thick surroundings. Also new are air vents in the corners, now with vertical orientation. Finally, the headlights. The shape may look familiar, but inside, there are new HD matrix lights. The new lights bring significant improvements, not just visually, but in terms of expanded vision as well, thanks to new laser diodes. The new 24 LEDs activate automatically once you reach the speed of 43 miles per hour and offer a way better high beam range. Then, there are new daytime running lights as well as new LED tail lights with new selectable lighting signatures. Such lighting has already been presented in the European market model. Will US regulations allow them in this part of the world? It's still unclear. Of course, it's hard to imagine a proper update without new colors and wheels. In this case, the 2025 model year brings three new paints: Ascari Blue, Saphir Gold, and Chili Red. As for the wheels, several new designs are available. The base version features 19-inch units, while options come in a range between 20 and 22 inches. These days, when car makers are struggling to adapt their investments and optimize production for electric cars, it's quite obvious that there isn't enough money to design an internal combustion-powered vehicle from scratch. That's why we already said that this is rather a restyling than a redesign, because the mechanical aspect remains largely the same, starting from the same variant of the well-known MLB architecture. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Moreover, this platform, along with Q7's chassis setup, is more than relevant even today. First of all, the center of gravity is pretty low, and despite the SUV appearance and typical crossover proportions, this model feels more like a wagon when you drive it. Of course, that chassis creates a perfect synergy with the advanced suspension setup, especially if you're willing to pay extra and get an adjustable air suspension. In that case, the Q7 shows its extremely versatile and multifaceted nature. The ride can be silky smooth, but can be pretty engaging as well, even comparable to some point with Audi's legendary performance-oriented wagons. But of course, that's just part of the overall driving experience. What's under the hood also matters, so let's take a look at the 2025 Audi Q7's engine offer. As mentioned, the mechanical aspect of the next year's model brings no significant changes, so standard versions of this three-row crossover are about to remain the same. Base versions continue with the 2.0-liter Turbo 4, which comes coupled with a 12-volt mild hybrid setup and delivers quite a decent 261 horsepower. It's not the most refined setup around, but it offers pretty good driving dynamics and overall performance, though it's not the most efficient one. Even with the help of an electric motor, this is still one of the thirstiest base engines in the class, with an average fuel economy of 19 miles per gallon city and 25 miles per gallon highway. That's why we're always for the optional V6. The good old 3.0-liter Turbo 6 features a more capable 48-volt hybrid system and offers pretty much the same fuel economy as the Turbo 4. On the other hand, it offers way more power, around 335 horsepower, which is plenty enough to ensure surprisingly quick acceleration with 0 to 60 time in just 5 seconds. Of course, Audi's well-known Quattro all-wheel drive system is one of the reasons for such quick acceleration, along with smooth and quick-shifting 8-speed automatic transmission. Overall, there aren't many things to complain about. The performance is quite respectable, even though these two engines are, in terms of power figures, a little bit behind key competitors. Another aspect that hasn't received significant changes is the cabin design, and we're quite happy about that, because Audi Q7's cabin has always been among the best looking in the class, with its combination of conservative and contemporary details. The new dashboard design brings a couple of tweaks, but the overall layout is the same, with its simplistic yet attractive layout. A couple of tiers and horizontal lines, combined with glossy materials and a couple of screens that aren't oversized, that's a combination that works extremely well in this case. Then there are new seats with new stitching and color scheme, as well as a lot of adjustability options. They are massive and supportive, while finding a good driving position is super easy. A similar level of comfort continues in the second row, but unfortunately, we can't say the same for the third row. Just like any other mid-size 3-row SUV, this one also features third-row seats that are rather tight and work best for kids. But what worries us more is the cargo area. With nearly 118 inches between the axles, as well as nearly 200 inches in total length, the Q7 seems like a proper mid-size SUV. However, cargo space isn't particularly great, and that's probably the weakest point of this SUV. With all seats in use, you get no more than 14.2 cubic feet. Fold them down, and you'll get a total space of 36 cubes. Probably the most disappointing is the overall volume, with second and third row seats down, which goes slightly under 70 cubic feet. For comparison, even the sportier BMW X5 with smaller dimensions features more cargo room. Still, it's worth mentioning that a hands-free power liftgate and power folding third-row seats are a part of the standard equipment. As for the tech features, the biggest novelty is definitely the new infotainment system. Even though the configuration is pretty much the same, where you have an upper infotainment screen and the other one for climate controls, the software is new. The updated infotainment offers even faster response, but more importantly, it's finally available with third-party app providers like Spotify and Amazon Music. The digital instrument cluster has been updated too, and now shows more warnings than before, including changing lanes, distance warnings, and similar things. Among standard high-tech features, you can also find typical features like Wi-Fi hotspots, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. As for the audio department, there are several options on offer, including the range-topping 23-speaker Bang & Olufsen system with 1,920 watts. Just like the standard Q7 models, the SQ7 also gets a full set of updates. Of course, they're pretty much the same as in the standard model, though this version also comes with its signature details, mainly in terms of exclusive styling details. For example, there's a new front splitter and a new rear diffuser, along with a set of new wheels. But typically for Audi, the upgrades over standard versions are subtle, so those unfamiliar with Audi will hardly guess that there is a capable V8 under the hood. Of course, that engine is the key upgrade over base versions, and it remains largely the same after this refresh. The well-known 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 puts out around 500 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque, enough to hit 60 in about 3.5 seconds. The engine comes coupled with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course, the Quattro all-wheel drive system is a part of the standard offer, along with upgraded suspension and brakes. What's not standard but can be added is the torque vectoring rear differential, which raises the overall performance to the next level. For those interested in fuel economy, this high-performance version of the Q7 returns around 15 miles per gallon in the city and 21 miles per gallon on the highway, and 17 miles per gallon combined, something you'd expect from such a capable V8 engine. So far, the officials have been quiet about the launch date in North America, but our guess is that the new version could hit the market next summer. The same thing is with pricing, though we're pretty sure we'll be seeing some increase compared to the current 2024 model, which starts at slightly under $61,000. For comparison, the European market version is notably more expensive, with the base price being pretty close to 80,000 euros. What do you think of the new 2025 Audi Q7? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.